Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's that time of year again. It's time for Disney to lay people off.
Well, that's every few months.
Right. And yeah, Disney, like every quarter, and even when things were very, very good for them, they tend to go through and lay people off. But it's interesting. This particular round of cuts is hitting ABC News very hard. And,
the last one did, though. I know at least like last year they had some cuts. And I know I want to say April or May, they hit ABC News and GMA and stuff.
Yeah, because they're not performing. I mean, let's be honest. They're not performing. The news is not performing. They had that whole thing where they had to settle with the orange one. Mm-hmm. And, it's the news media is imploding, right? People are going to social media for their news, regardless of what you think about the reporting on social media, right? People no longer trust corporate news, and ABC News is definitely feeling the pinch. How long until are they going to get rid of The View? When are they going to get rid of it?
I don't know, but they've gotten their butts kicked a few times recently. It's been hilarious.
I think they keep them around just because they get hate views and people watch them.
That's what I think it is, the hate views.
It's like, what's Sunny or Whoopi going to say today that we can clip and, make videos out of? But let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to Substack. You will get an email notification when we upload new videos. If you're not getting them here on YouTube, that is clownfishtv.substack.com. Doesn't cost anything. You can go sign up. Thank you very much for that. So, yeah, there's like all kinds of layoffs. Variety's got it here. Disney's laying off nearly 200 employees across TV and ABC News and shuttering the FiveThirtyEight data unit. So, they're laying off 200 staffers across TV and ABC News operations, the latest in a series of cuts to its employment base as it navigates more difficult terrain for media companies.
Okay.
Geez, why is that?
I don't know. Yeah.
Why are people not tuning in anymore? Right. Let's see here. It says the reductions account for nearly 6% of staff across the two business operations, according to a person familiar with the matter. As part of the moves, the company is winding down FiveThirtyEight, the data unit that was part of ESPN before moving to ABC News and had become a go-to source for analysis of polling data.
Okay, yeah, but the polling data was so right on. It was like way out. It was when they kept saying that the different polls usually was way off.
Yeah, it was very skewed. Like the reason so many people were caught off guard, and I think the reason we have so much derangement over the orange one is because people thought they had it in the bag in two elections, right? They're like, 2016 and this year. Oh yeah, everything's great. Everything's great. We got it in the bag. This is a slam dunk. Then they're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And if you were actually polling middle America and, you would have realized where people actually were. Disney declined to make executives available for comment.
Maybe I bet they did.
Probably laid them off. The cuts at ABC News come about as a result of combining different groups of staff through moves that had been previously unveiled. All units of Good Morning America, including the flagship program GMA3 and ABC News overnight broadcast, report to executive Simone Swink. So they're merging these together, I guess. The majority of cuts are directed at ABC News. According to a person familiar with the matter, ABC News also lost employees in October.
Yes.
Yeah,
and they lost some like in April, May before that too.
Nobody's watching you. That's it.
Yeah.
If a lot of people were watching ABC News and the ad revenue was rolling in, you wouldn't be getting cut, would you? Mm-mm. That's just the truth. And
you can see some of the different cuts that were going on.
Yeah, they have. This is just in the last couple months here. We had Disney, 6% of its staff, CNN in January, 6% of its staff, Washington Post in January, 4%, Allen Media Group. All the meteorologists got gone. I guess they're piping the weather in now. They're using like the Weather Channel or something. I think he owns a Weather Channel. I'm not sure.
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Meta, 3,600 people. And that's only 5% of their workforce, by the way. Univision, single digit percentage. Condé Nast, 300 people. I mean, it's just like all across the board.
Oh, Coco Melon got hit too.
Coco Melon. Oh my God, Coco Melon. The AP, 8%. That's pretty high. I mean, that's pretty high.
I'd argue not high enough, but that's a whole other story entirely. So
Paramount, Microsoft Gaming, Time Magazine, A&E, Dr. Phil, 30%. I didn't realize Dr. Phil lost 30% of his staff too. Like, look, people don't trust the media anymore. People are going to social media for news and commentary, and they follow individual journalists and they follow individual shows, and they're going to Substack and they're going to all these other places now, podcasts, and the legacy media cannot keep up. And it doesn't help that they're spending all their time ranting against one side of the aisle. And, I think it's catching up with them. I think the advertisers are noping out because they know that they can get a better deal going to, individuals or going to YouTube or whatever it is.
Which is why I think these places are trying harder to, make deals with places like YouTube and stuff to try to, get that viewership back, but it's not going to work.
Right. That's it. It's not, and that's like, MSN's trying to pivot. They're all pivoting. They're shrinking. They're like everybody's in trouble now. MSNBC is in trouble. CNN's in trouble. ABC News is in trouble, and it's just scandal after scandal. CBS, then they got hit pretty hard too, because of the interview with Harris. And just people don't trust you. They don't trust you. They're not watching you anymore. Side note, I'm looking at this. Honest to God, I thought this was Charo, and it's Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah, you didn't see the pictures the other day?
No. I'm like, I look, nothing against Millie Bobby Brown if we got some Stranger Things fans here, but this looks like a 45-year-old woman.
That was what they were saying, that she was dressed. She looked really old for the
and
way
she's
she was
like, what,
dressed.
20, 21?
Something like that,
like,
yeah.
Damn. It's like, this is what Hollywood does to you people. Let's see what else we got here. You had another article you sent over. This is a Fast Company telling you that media and entertainment layoffs in 2025. They're cutting staff, but not as many as they did last year.
Well, it's only March. That's what I thought
March.
was funny. I'm like, yeah, because we looked at last year's list. We just looked at it a minute ago. There was all kinds of cuts, but it's only March.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, we talked about this before. There's a long tail to this stuff. And I think what if I had to guess what's going on, right? They're going to bank on Trump and anti-Trump outrage, and they're going to give it a couple of quarters to see how that goes.
Right. And if they need to lay off more, they will. Thing is, it might slow down this year because eventually you're going to have to, you're going to run out of people to cut. Either that or you go out of business. You know what I mean? You're going to get to a place where you can't cut anymore. You
just replace them all with AI and call it a day, right? So it's not just the tech industry is laying off in 2025. In recent weeks, a number of high-profile media and entertainment companies have seen job cuts. Disney's doing it. Here's what you got to know. It's not as bad as last year, though. No, because I'm telling you what has been going on, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday too. We had a lot of bloat, right? We had a lot of bloat in every industry for the last 8 to 10 years. We had a lot of people working in at companies that were not sustainable. And this is what they were talking about in the AI, this AI Hollywood studio that wants to make movies for like $500,000. There's a video on that. But he said there's so much waste in tech and in media, and they're just trying to bring that mindset to Hollywood too, that there's a lot of waste. And
you mean like when they had like the personal chefs for their employees and the massage rooms and the personal yoga sessions and all that crap?
Sensitivity reader, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like newsrooms especially used to be pretty lean and mean. And
and you had to get your butt in gear and you had to have stuff done. You had to have done by deadline. You didn't have time to go take oh my God, it's a smoothie break.
The one newsroom I worked in, I literally, because I would do the pagination too, for the pages for the late edition, and I had it down. I had about 15 minutes to do each page, and now the copy was already done and everything. It was already proofed. I'm using air quotes there, but it was like it ran through a person. But I didn't have. I mean, I worked 12-hour shifts, and I didn't have a break. I'm just saying, like nobody, there was no personal chef. Actually, no, Geeky was the personal chef. She'd bring me my dinner sometimes.
I did sometimes. Yeah. But they also end up working with you to get things done faster.
To help me get things done. Yeah. Cause I'm like, hey, I need some help and you're not going to hire help. So my wife is going to work here with me to help me get shit done. But yeah, so this is like this whole pampered journalist mindset that has kind of like celebrity journalist thing that's taken over. And this is a pretty recent thing, because usually being a journalist is like a thankless, hard-ass job, and you don't have a lot of Barbara Walters right now. Everybody wants to be Barbara Walters, except she knew when to keep her mouth shut for the most part. But it said jobs are disappearing at the Washington or at the Wall Street Journal and the LA Times. Yeah, Washington Post, we know too. Silver line, January job losses are lower than
That's what I'm saying.
earlier.
It's only, you're talking about January. Well, it's only March. We don't know if it's going to be less this year than last year. It's too soon to tell.
Some of these places already went out of business, though. Some of these places, the first wave was like, these are the obvious wastes of space, right? We get rid of these people first. And now it's like, okay, now we're left with people that actually have some kind of a function, but do we need both kidneys, or can we get by with one? Do we, that's, I mean, it sounds morbid when I spin it like that. No offense to anybody who is having kidney issues, but like those are the decisions that are being made right now, is like, okay, how far can we whittle things down?
How far can we cut until we bleed out?
Until we bleed out. Yeah. And it's like, do we need all of our limbs? Do we need all of our, and that's what they're doing. And companies literally will do that. Everything is going to be lean and mean, because out of necessity. It's people have a lot of choices. And I know it doesn't help the people getting laid off, but it's like a lot of you weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
Right. They just got too big, too fast, and they weren't, it was never sustainable.
It was never sustainable. Right. And a lot of it came from venture capital. A lot of it came from ridiculous ad spends. A lot of it came from pumping money into these organizations, thinking that, streaming was going to be a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of it, fake it till you make it. And
fake it till you make it.
And you didn't make it. So,
no.
So
your job was fake. How does that feel? Seriously, I mean, how does that feel? Like somebody be like, this is like a lot of these people that are like diversity officers and stuff like that. Like your job was never really real. Your job
you just made it up. Yeah,
you just kind of made it up, and now we decided it doesn't work, and poof, you're all gone. I guess. I don't know. Are we gonna wrap this up?
Yep.
I think we need to wrap this up. So there we go, guys. I think when you're going to see the most cuts from Disney across the board, it's always going to be in like September, October.
Well, and that's when they had the last group was October.
Yeah, and Octobers are usually brutal. And I'm telling you, if their park attendance is not good this year, October's going to be a bloodbath, because they're definitely trying to save as much money as they possibly can.
Well, yeah, because September, for those who don't know, is the end of the quarter, or end of the fiscal year and quarter for Disney, and then the start of the new fiscal year quarter is October. So that's why Disney tends to do it in September or October.
Yep. So I know for a fact, like when we were working with Disney, like everybody'd start getting real nervous in like August, and they were trying to bump their numbers up in August, because they would start making decisions in September who was going to get gone. And then it doesn't matter how good of a year they had, people get gone always in the fall. So let's wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.